Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here with another crypto update. Guys, we've had an amazing pump. So, first of all, congratulations on a new all time high for Bitcoin. Let's dissect that and let's see what the plan is for the coming week. So, in the previous video, it was crazy. I think we were around right here and we were at a very, very key area on Bitcoin and XRP. And that's why I did my best to get that video out as soon as possible. And I said, okay, look, guys, we have to flip this weekly open because if we don't, and I think we were down here at the time, if we don't, we're probably going to rotate down to retest the monthly open. Shortly after that video was posted, we got this absolute rocket ship candle, hit all-time high, retested this SR zone, and then the rest is history. Same thing briefly, I'll show you on XRP here. XRP, we were at this green box that I mapped out, this point of control, high volume node. And you can see we hit it here and rejected pretty hard. We came down. Oh, let me make sure to turn my pointer color on so we can see that. So we hit it right here, rejected pretty hard. That's when I posted the video. And then thankfully we were able to cut through that volume and pump back up. And as you can see, we've had an absolute rocket ship on XRP. So I'll talk about XRP again in a second here. But first, let's look at the King Bitcoin. Now, one thing I do want to mention is we pumped from all-time high. I'll go on the daily chart. Also, let's get rid of this. Let's make it nice and clean. So we pumped on the daily chart, as you can see. Now, eventually, we are going to have to retest this all-time high. Not saying we're going to go down and do it now, but eventually, we're going to keep pumping or do it now, and we're going to retest this area. Even on the 1 hour, you can see we didn't retest it. We just pumped up from it and never retested it. So that is coming, and don't be alarmed or scared when that happens. Most likely, we will flip the previous all-time high as support and continue to pump. So that's just something that we need to know. Next, let's look at smaller time frames. We can stay on the 1 hour actually for this, but basically we're in a weekend range. This range kind of started on Friday when we got this high of over 118,800, and we got a pretty big wick on this topping candle, right? So a lot of shorts were liquidated, a lot of late longs piled in, and then we had kind of a sharper move to the downside. And that just tells me that, a lot of longs, I think, were coming in. They were getting FOMO. And so market needed to cool off. And the weekend was a good point for that, right? So now we've been chopping around. And now because we have this established weekend range, we can actually pull a TR pocket from this high to this range low. And it gives us these green and red lines. So if you're new to the channel and haven't heard me talk about it before, basically these are Fibonacci ratios where whenever a range breaks, it's likely to hit that point and then retest the range. So right now it's kind of looking like we're going to break the range to the downside first, which is actually more beneficial in my opinion, because we can look for a trade. So what I would look for here is a move down below this range low and then hit the TR pocket and then bounce up. From here, it'll at the very least retest the range. But if it is continuing to be bullish, which it seems like, then we would continue up, flip that as support, and then continue. This other side would still be important to look for, something like this if it's still bullish, but it could still act as some resistance. So that's the main kind of thing I'm looking at going into this week. Ideally, it happens maybe on Sunday when futures open or on Monday. But I could expect to see us chop around in here. And as we know, historically in the bull markets, weekends really provide two things. First of all is there's low liquidity on the weekends, right? So what tends to happen is if the market is very bullish, we can get some really, really nice pumps, especially in the altcoin market. Bitcoin tends to go sideways while alts fly, right? So that's one option on weekends. The second option on weekends is because it's low liquidity. If there's a ton of leveraged logs, it is very easy for market makers to just crush all of them. It does not take much money to drop the price, and all of those people will be liquidated. So that's another thing in these bull markets that we have to watch out for. So if you're trading this weekend, I would recommend just to be safe, and personally I would wait. Usually tops and bottoms are not formed on the weekend, so be patient. Let's see what else. I think, let me go to the 4 hour for this. Okay, yeah, here. So there's one piece of confluence that we can have here as well. Is whenever you get this like strong established low, it's almost like a staircase, right? Whenever you get something like that, you can always look for a golden pocket retracement. So let me turn that on. So, okay, as you can see, the golden pocket retracement already hit. However, the 786 is also a valid retracement. So the 786 matches our TR pocket that we already looked at very, very nicely. Now I'm going to look at one more thing here on Bitcoin before going to XRP and ETH. So as you can see from this upward move, we do have a pretty decent volume node also at that TR pocket. So overall, this definitely is a good potential reversal zone. And if you wanted to take a trade off of this, how I would personally do it is I would do something like this. And then probably a stop right here is safe. You want to give it a little bit of room because, like we said, there's a lot of leverage in the market. So there could be a sharp liquidity wick. But I would look for something like that. And then as soon as we get to 1R like this, it's the perfect back test ratio of the range. That's when you can move your stop to entry, or depending on your trading style, you can TP 25%, something like that. But I would potentially look for something like this, and I might even post this on Twitter. Oops, that's not the right thing. Also on Twitter, guys, I posted, if anyone has any altcoins they want me to look at, I'll be posting them on Twitter. So check that out. Something like this. And then also sometimes when there's a range low like this, it either hits the TR pocket like that, like how we have it right now, or sometimes it just sweeps the low and does a swing failure pattern. If that's the case, then what I would look for is a break of structure, like up here, candle close above this area, retest down, and then I would look for a long with a stop loss at the low, something like that. So these are the two main scenarios we're looking at coming into the week. Lastly, on Bitcoin, I know I said that was the last one, but just in case this turns around and does pump up, I could see a scenario where everyone gets really hyped that we're breaking out again, and it ends up either being a swing failure or a TR pocket rejection, and then we kind of correct a bit for the week, maybe take out this low down here, because everything's kind of been up only for the last few days. We are due for a bit of a correction, so very, very possible. And if we do, especially on Sunday, if we pump on a Sunday up here towards this pocket, do not trust that. And then the other thing is, if we do get a swing failure, wait for a candle close down here. It'll retrace. You can enter, put your stop loss up here, and then get a move down. That's how I would trade that. Hey everyone, real quick. My favorite exchange, B2Nex, is doing a deposit bonus campaign with our YouTube and Twitter. And as you can see, if you deposit just 2,000 USDT, you're getting a 20%, which is a 400 USDT futures bonus that you can trade with. So if you have money lying around on another exchange and you're not already on Bit2Nex, I don't know why Bit2Nex is the #1, no KYC, no VPN needed exchange in the world. They have audited proof of reserves every single month. They have 150% of the Bitcoin they need, 110% of the ETH they need, 105% of the USDT they need. So they are fully funded, fully backed, and have the best UI UX out of any other exchange I've ever been on. And I've worked with BitGet, I've worked with Bybit, I've worked with BingX, I've worked with KuCoin, I've worked with every single exchange. I can honestly say Bit2Nex is the best, and it is my favorite. And right now, if you're not already on the exchange, you can get a massive deposit bonus. So take advantage of that now. It is expiring on August 10th. So I'll leave the link below, and make sure you take advantage of that, guys. Now let's check out our good friend XRP. I know you guys love that one. Wow, this is a big move down from the top. Let's see how much that is. 10%. Oh my goodness. So XRP, pros and cons. One pro is that obviously it pumped, but one pro is that it did not take out this high, at least on this chart. Let me double check to make sure I'm on the perp chart. Okay, I wasn't on the perp chart, but that's fine. Looks like it didn't take it out on this chart either. Okay, good. So because we left this high, right now we have equal highs, and typically that's a sign that we will break these equal highs and go higher. So as you can see, we had our main area of interest. Whichever way price flipped this, would have been bearish or bullish. We flipped bullish. So that's absolutely amazing. Congrats, XRP holders. And now we're coming back down. So where could this bounce from? Let's take a look. So first of all, I'm going to make sure the volume profile is correct. As you can see right now, we are testing the top of the volume profile, the value area high. That's really good. Potentially, we could hold this area, but for now, it's not looking like that. Now, similar to Bitcoin, this has been making sort of a weekend range, right? And so we can actually do the exact same thing with the TR pocket right here. And we have these targets down here. Now we do have this small liquidity wick right there. So if I was a betting man, I would presume that we would take this wick out at the bottom of the TR pocket, and then we could go back up. Now, this is a short-term trade setup that could play out pretty well. But let me look a little bit higher time frame on the 4-hour and see what we're looking at. So right here, actually, you can see this area is a pretty big support and resistance zone. Let's say something kind of like that. And so this would be a typical retest type of trade that I would look for. So it would be essentially a swing failure of that current wick that we have right here. And then anywhere in this range, and I guess you could extend it slightly lower into our TR pocket, and that would remain valid as well. So it would be nice to flip this area for sure. If that doesn't hold even, then I guess the last kind of thing I would look for would be a golden pocket like this. and that's taken from this low right here. And that would essentially be a retest of this downward trend line right here. So I would look kind of for something like an ABC correction right here into this high volume node area before further move up. However, this is kind of planning too far ahead in my opinion, because we just don't know if that's the case yet, and we will monitor, and I'll of course make some more videos before we get that deep. So totally fine. Well, it looks like we are coming down. I'll give one more scenario on Bitcoin. If we do end up going lower now, is you could pull another a golden pocket from right here. This would be another area of interest, another golden pocket, if this first area does not hold. So down here, 786 matches the back test. However, you would not want to see this come back into the range, because then that would be a massive deviation and we would surely go lower. Not thinking that's the case for now. I think the market just needs to cool off for a second. Next, let's look at ETH, and then we'll end the video here. So I posted on X. Let me see if I can find the post real quick. But I posted on X this bearish scenario for Ethereum. As you can see, very clean swing failure of the high. And my boy Angus, he actually coined the term. It's called triple circle pattern. So you circle this high, and this high, and they're all wicks, and they all sweep each other. So this wick high is in, this one sweeps it and then dumps. Then another wick high, this one sweeps it and then dumps. So it's essentially a three drives pattern. And then what happened was we came down, then we came back up, but then had another liquidity sweep here into the golden pocket. I put this arrow down. I said we have to quickly move back above this, or else there will be a sharp move down. And exactly as predicted, a very, very sharp move down, over 3.5% down now. So if you're not following on Twitter, make sure you do. Make sure you turn notifications on, because now I have a little bit more free time. I'll be posting more charts just like this intraday, where we can get some good trade setups. So take a look at that. Now we're coming down. Here's another perfect TR pocket example. I know we're using that a lot, but it's because it does work. So we'll use this swing low here to that ultimate wick high, and then we get our zone down here. So this is kind of where I would look for. We can use a golden pocket from this low. I'm guessing it'll be close. Yeah, right there at the bottom. Could even use this low maybe. And then we get a pretty decent match right there. So that's the first area of interest I would look for ETH. It's actually also a really nice retest of this, right? So that's essentially the range high of this area. Sorry if you guys hear construction. So yeah, that area looks pretty nice too. We're approaching that quite quickly though, and it's still Saturday. So I don't love that it's happening on a Saturday. However, the lower we go now, the bigger the CME gap will be on Monday, and that gap will most likely be filled. So it's good to look for longs before Monday open. Now, yeah, I guess this is my main area that I would look for. That price is around 2878. I most likely am not going to take this if it hits, just because it's weekend. I would only take Bitcoin if that hits, but this is a pretty crazy sharp move down right now, guys. This is why make sure A lot of people bull post and FOMO post on X when we're absolutely pumping, and don't get caught up in that and don't try to take setups that you shouldn't take. Real quick on Doge. Sorry, ignore all these lines. On Doge, real quick, we did break out of this big downward trend line, and then it does look like we'll retest that trend line down here. So if you have some risk appetite, Doge could be a good long on a retest of that. We could do a golden pocket right there as well. So this one looks pretty decent. However, I mean, look how sharp this move down is. It's crazy. Something like that. Something like that. Doge swept this high too, so that's a little bit bearish. However, the candle did close above it, which is a good sign. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it on the market update. It's hard to give a lot of scenarios when it's just straight up like this. As more and more structure builds, you know, say we do something like that, we're able to use additional TR pockets, additional confluences. We're able to use our volume profile better because we have an established volume range. And then we're able to even use Elliott wave to get targets as well. So yeah, it does look like this will come down here. So I can post this chart on Twitter. Also, my good friends at BitTuneX are doing a massive deposit bonus. I posted that on Twitter as well. So make sure to check that out. I'll probably stitch that together in the video somewhere. But they're giving basically $400 away just by depositing $2,000 that you can trade with. Literally, just find a good altcoin with a good setup, toss in the $400, and you can literally turn that into, you know, a couple thousand pretty easily if we get some good pumps. So definitely check that out. If you're not already using BitTuneX, I don't know why you aren't. They're the best no KYC, no VPN exchange in the world, and you can use the link below for that. Anyway, guys, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.